one thing I want to emphasize is the bar staying close in the pull to your body, but not dragging your body. We don't want the bar dragging your shins, obviously, and we definitely don't want the bar dragging the thighs. We want a little bit of space in order to create that thud, right, that you hear on YouTube, that you want to do, that you feel at times, that nice bar body contact explosion. So in order for that thud, in order for that bar to really oscillate around the body during the finish, so it recoils heavily into a nicely weightless bar for the pull under. It's all about that thud, that contact. There has to be a little bit of space in order for that bar. All right, let me just make this simple. Scratch all that. Okay. Look, guys, something I really want to emphasize is how the bar should never touch your body in the pull, okay? It should never drag your shin. It should never drag your thigh. I'm just going to get right to the point here. You want to create a little bit of space between the bar and body in order for that thud to happen in that bar body contact and that power position. Look, you guys know we want that bar to oscillate. We want that bar to recoil during the pull under for a nice pull under with a weightless bar there. We want that thud, we want that sound, we want that feeling, we want that explosion. And in order for all of that to happen, we must have a little bit of space between the bar and the body, right? If that bar is dragging up the thigh the entire pull, well, now it's going to become more of a lunge finish, where we're just lunging the bar out. And a lot of times, this is not going to make the bar bend a lot, so you're going to have less oscillation, you're going to have less power, the bar is going to get out in front of you on the finish. You're probably most likely, because you're not going to feel that nice thud as if you would with some separation, you're probably going to go into kind of overdrive and pull up too much and shrug up and catch too high, and it just becomes a disaster. In my opinion, a lift that drags the thigh is a confused lifter. Now, I understand there's some really, really good lifters that drag the thigh. Really not necessarily talking about them. If you have medals around your neck, and you've made teams and you have a huge resume behind you, then fine. I mean, obviously it works for other people. But for beginner lifters, I do see sometimes they drag, sometimes they don't, sometimes they make contact, sometimes they don't. And it's all about really kind of finding that consistency in this style of lifting, in my opinion, right? So create a little bit of space, find that thud, keep pulling the bar back, and just, think about more about placing the bar into the hips, right? Placing the bar into the hips. Look how close I'm keeping this bar, right? This bar is just barely away from me, very close this whole entire pull, but I'm creating just enough space, right, for that bar to make that thud position. Now, speaking of keeping the bar close and pulling the bar back, let's go now into our chest bump drill, okay? So what we're gonna do here, this is on the program quite often throughout this 12-week cycle, is, as you guys can see there, I'm pulling back. Once I make contact here in the power position, instead of doing a classic high pull of pulling the bar up, okay, we wanna pull that bar back, right? So what we're gonna do is hit the chest, and at the same time, I'm on my toes. Okay, so instead of pulling the bar all the way to your chin, we're going to pull that bar back and hit our chest. So there's more carryover in this than just pulling to the chin. Okay, bam. So right into the chest. So we're still getting that nice extension. We're still getting that high pull, but we're pulling back instead of up. Hit the chest. Okay, I'm hitting the chest right as I get on my toes. So I'm in that arched angel. Okay? And that's the chest bump. Should hit right here, okay? If it's gliding, you're pulling up too much. Obviously, if you're not hitting the chest, you're pulling up too much. Okay? We want that thud. And find that timing right on the toes, right at the end of the finish. Bam. Bam. Right there. okay? Right with those elbows, okay? And that's the chest pump drill.